So, our final story of the night. So the House, the U.S. House of Congress, has just released a report on Health and Human Services COVID propaganda, and mate, mate, oof, size a million. I wish I had that meme. The mega oof, like, oof, or or possibly the American Psycho one where it's like, uh, if anyone can stick that in the chat. The Biden admin spent almost $1 billion to push falsehoods about COVID vaccines, boosters, and masks on the American people. If a pharma company had run the campaign, it would have been fined out of existence. Oh, now, come on. Not Pfizer. Surely not. Right. So, Health and Human Services engaged a PR firm, the Fours Marsh Group, for the propaganda campaign. The main goal was to increase COVID vax uptake. The strategy was to 1. Exaggerate COVID mortality risk, 2. Downplay the fact that there was no good evidence that the COVID vax stops transmission. I'm just going to read this thread by Jay Bhattacharya because it basically has all of the greatest hits. But the health, what the public relation firm used was the health belief model. What is the health belief model, you might be saying? Well, the health belief model posits, quote, that a person's belief in a personal threat of an illness or disease, together with a person's belief in the effectiveness of the recommended health behavior or action, will predict the likelihood the person will adopt the behavior. I do love some tasty nudge. Oh, it tastes like fucking soft coercion, bros. Ooh, I can taste a bit of boot leather in there as well. The propaganda campaign extended beyond vax uptake and included exaggerating mask efficacy and pushing for social distancing and school closures. Ultimately, since the messaging did not match reality, the campaign collapsed public trust in public health. Oh my god! I thought the reason no one trusted the health establishment was because of Merck conspiracy theories, bro. I thought social media was to blame. Are you saying that it was, in fact, the actions of the health establishment themselves? Come on, that sounds a bit anti-healthic to me, bros. So yeah, basically, the Harris government, Biden-Harris government, produced a thing called "We Can Do This, We Can Do This, We Can Do a Communism, Bros." The PR firm drew most of its faulty science from the CDC's guidance, what a surprise, which ignored the FDA findings on the vaccine's limitations, as well as scientific findings from other countries that contradicted CDC groupthink. CDC guidance, which the campaign relied on, went beyond the terms of the FDA's EUA emergency use authorization to state without evidence that COVID vaccines were highly effective against transmission. I thought that was a conspiracy theory, bro. This ultimately had a negative impact on vaccine confidence and the CDC's credibility when proven untrue. Oh no, bros. If only someone had pointed this out. Like me. Like literally me. Fucking 4 years ago. When I'm like, you realize, like, if this turns out to be bullshit, it's going to undermine, like, faith in the medical industry to a massive extent. Yeah, it's fine. CDC had inconsistent and flawed messaging about the effectiveness of masks. The CDC consistently overstated the risk of COVID-19 to children, and the CDC continues to recommend COVID vaccines for all Americans aged 6 months and older, which has made the United States a global outlier. The report details the CDC's mask flip-flopping through the years. It is especially infuriating to recall the CDC's weird, anti-scientific, anti-human focus on masking toddlers with cloth masks into 2022. You all remember, right? Like the CDC's like, and because the CDC basically said it, WHO said it, and everyone else had to go along with it. President Biden's COVID advisor, Ashik of course it's a Jeet, waited until December 2022, right after leaving the government, to tell the country that, quote, there is no study in the world that shows that masks work that well. What took him so long? Gee, I wonder, bro. Former CDC Director Rachel Walensky rewrote CDC guidance on social distancing at the behest of the National Teachers Union. These are the same people that are trying to trans your kids and were very, very interested in remote working, guaranteeing that schools would remain closed to in-person learning for many months. So basically, because the Teachers Union wanted a holiday, kids all over the countries suffered. During this period, the PR firm put out ads telling parents that schools would close unless kids masked up, stayed away from friends, and got COVID vaccinated. The campaign and the CDC persisted in this messaging after it was apparent that schools were not super spreader locations and children were not at high risk of serious illness or death from COVID. I'm fine, bros. I'm not angry. Don't look back in anger, bros. In March 2021, even as the CDC told the American people that the vaccinated did not need to mask, the PR firm ran ads saying that masks were still needed, even for the vaccinated. Quote, "It is not time to ease up, we are told, in the absence of any evidence that it did any good." Now, one of the great things about this report is that it's got scripts from a bunch of these ads that were paid for, were created by this PR company, right? Now, I've got some of these ads floating around in my archive, but I thought I'd just like read some just because the language in this is so manipulative. "My family's lived in our town for 6 generations, so looking out for our neighbors is something that comes naturally to us. So when COVID hit, we did what it took to protect each other. Now vaccines are here, and some folks are easing up a bit, but that's a big mistake. That's because there are these new forms of the virus and they're spreading quickly. Want to know how to fight them? Just do what you've been doing. Get that mask that fits good and snug? Perfect. Giving your neighbors at least 6 feet of space, avoiding crowds, and not hanging out inside other people's houses. That's all good stuff. And now it's more important than ever. Look, I'll definitely get my vaccine when it's my turn, but now isn't the time to let your guard or your mask down. I'm a real American." Yeah, what kind of American are you? Oh my God. In 2021, to support the Biden-Harris admin push for vax mandates, the PR firm pushed the false idea that the vax stopped COVID transmission, which it did not. When people started getting breakthrough infections, public trust in public health collapsed. Later, when the FDA approved the vaccine for 12 to 15-year-old kids, the PR firm told parents that schools could open in fall 2021 only if they got their kids vaccinated. These ads never mentioned these side effects like myocarditis due to the vaccine. Health and Human Services has scrubbed the propaganda ads from this era of its web pages. It's easy to see why they are embarrassing. They tell kids, in effect, that they should treat other kids like biohazards unless they are vaccinated. This is from June 16, 2021. Say yes. Say yes to seeing friends. Yes to hanging out. Yes to vacations. Yes to sleepovers. After a year of saying no, imagine how good yes is going to feel. Everyone 12 and older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine. Oh, sign me up, science daddy. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate these people so fucking much. When the Delta variant arrived, the PR firm doubled down on fear-mongering, masking, and social distancing. Oh, this one's great. I'm just going to like read this one as well. Oh my God. So this is read in the voice of a child. My mom is interesting. She goes to the grocery store and buys 2 of everything. I ask her, what's the deal? She tells me there is nothing worse than cooking dinner for the family and you need more of something and it's not there. She said she would rather go all in and double up to make sure she's covered. I get it. I am now doing that with the pandemic. I know many people are getting the vaccine, but there are new forms of the virus, and I don't want to take the chance. Wearing a well-fitted mask, keeping 6 feet apart, and avoiding crowds are my way of doubling up against the virus. We need to continue to protect our people and our tribal communities. Help prevent the spread of new forms of the virus by continuing to wear a snug mask. Keep 6 feet apart when you're around others, and when it's your turn, get vaccinated. Oh, God. Oh, Evil Author. Good to see you, mate. You'll catch it later if you watch the rest of the stream. It says that CDC Director Walensky deliberately overrode the advice of the other experts at the CDC. The PR campaign and CDC persistently overestimated the mortality risk of COVID infection in kids to scare parents into vaccinating their children with the COVID vaccine. Military vax mandates, more vax mandates, use of celebrities, which is highly abusive. I mean, it's just a shit show. It's what everybody paying attention. I swear the accent sounded like a South Park character. Yeah, I do steal from South Park when I have to like make accents up on the fly because they're just so good. Oh my god, and they're just oh my god. And of course, Bhattacharya basically says now that public health trust has collapsed, all vaccine take-up is declining. The report makes several recommendations, including formally defining the CDC's core mission to focus on its core mission of disease prevention, forcing HHS propaganda to abide by FDA's product labeling rules, and revamping the process of evaluating vaccine safety. So if this goes through, if Trump gets in and this goes through, this will be the end of the health security state basically making like a grab for power. So yeah, you can. There's a full copy of the House report is in here if you want to like read it. I've like read enough. I think that's I think that's enough. I'm fine. I'm not seething or anything like that. Oh god, what a bloody fucking terrible time. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. Right.